Hey folks, welcome back. We're going to do a quick video today on how to make what I think is the perfect hairband. Headband? Hair wrap? I don't know. But if you have a sensitive head and cannot stand plastic headbands, this is for you. What you're going to need for this is some sort of measuring something. I'm just going to use a piece of string. I have a little bit of fabric. And this fabric is just a window valance. It's fine. It's great. And you're going to need a piece of elastic. I have this. It's about 1 inch wide. And I got it from a fitted bed sheet. You can make the whole thing out of a fitted bed sheet. You could probably make 100 of these. They're just real easy. Let's go. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my piece of string and I'm going to wrap it around my head like I'm wearing a headband. So it's right here and it goes to the back. The big thing is that I don't want the two ends to touch. I want them to be like 2 or 3 inches apart because that's where the elastic is going to be. I don't know about you guys, but I have like 2 little knobbies at the back of my skull. That's where my string stops, is on those 2 little knobbies. So again, there's probably about that much space between them. It's about 20 inches long. So that's how long I'm going to make my piece of fabric. And then I need to figure out how far back I want the fabric to go. I like my headbands to stop about there. And then I do like them to go back onto my ponytail or back a little bit farther. I don't like narrow little headbands. So I want there to about there. Can you see that? That's my width of my fabric. It is going to be approximately 9 inches wide. I'm probably going to add about 1 inch though, seam allowance and whatnot. So my measurements for this are going to be 20 inches long by 10 inches wide. Let's cut out a rectangle. Close enough. Now you may be thinking that, oh no, she cut off the really pretty end over here. Yeah, I did. It still has a really pretty scalloped edge there. And this edge I'm going to use as the back of the headband. I only have to hem one end. It doesn't matter which way it goes to my head. Nobody cares about that part. So what we're going to do is we're going to choose a fabric that has a nice edge. It could be a good selvage. It could be something that's already hemmed like this. It could be a pillowcase. It doesn't matter. We're just going to make sure that it has one edge that's finished, because it's going to make our job so much easier. We're going to cut it 10 inches wide right there. Pyoink. This is what we're going to use for our headband. So once you have your piece of fabric cut, I have one that is 20 inches long by 10 inches wide, and it has one finished edge already. We need to finish the second edge. So for this, I'm going to use my serger. No, I'm not. I'm going to use my sewing machine because I want anybody to be able to do this. Let's go to the sewing machine. Got my fabric. We're going to work on finishing this edge. Given this fabric, I don't think that it's going to fray. Honestly, I feel like I could put it through the washing machine and it would be fine. But this is a tutorial. Should probably show you how to do this. We are going to set our machine to a zigzag stitch, and we're going to have the needle jump over this edge. It's going to go boink, 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 boink. And basically, it's going to just curl this up into itself. I'm going to use blue thread so that you can see it, and so I don't have to rethread my machine. You should probably use matching thread. And I've got the fabric under both feet, but just barely under this one, so that the thread is going to just barely catch the fabric. All right, I never said it was going to be neat, but it is done. So take a look at this. So like I said, it's not neat and tidy, but it is kind of like a rolled hem. If you were using a different fabric that wasn't lace, it would actually look a little bit better. But even for lace, this looks okay. Also, if you use white thread, or at least a matching thread, it would look pretty good. This is for demonstration purposes only. For the next step, we're going to need our elastic. I have my elastic. I'm going to cut a piece that is a little bit smaller than the space between those two knobbies. If you remember me talking about well, you did, because it was just like 5 minutes ago. So I'm gonna cut a piece of elastic that is about maybe that long. I'm back. Here's my elastic. That's it. That's all I'm gonna use. Point, point, point. I like these headbands to almost look like they're accordion style almost, where they have folds at the elastic, because I think then you can kind of scrunch them down and make them narrower, and then you can spread them out and make them a little bit bigger. So let me show you how to do those folds in a way that makes sense. I hope. If your fabric has a right side and a wrong side, you want to be working from the right side. So we're going to do right side up. Ultimately, what I'm trying to do is get this edge folded down to about this width. It doesn't have to be exact, it can be a little bit wider, but that's what I'm shooting for. What I'm gonna do is leave about that much space at the beginning free and that much space at the other end free, because they're gonna wrap around the elastic and kind of hide it. So this is my right side up. I'm going to kind of fold. So I did 3 folds here. You can see that it's approximately the width of my elastic. I'm going to take this guy and fold it in first because it's the pretty edge. I'm going to take this guy and fold it over like that. And then we are going to pin it in place and we're going to sew it down. It does not look neat or clean, but it is all sewed together. I can take my pin out, and now when I take the elastic out of its little like shell here, you can see that all of those ends are going to be on the inside. So that's what we're shooting for. Now we're going to repeat the process at the other end with the folding, and then I'll show you how to get the elastic over there. And if you remember, I started folding the other end here, so I'm going to do the same thing so that they all match. And they're never ever twins for me, they are always cousins. So again, this is the right side up on my fabric. I've done my folds, kind of align them all down there together, and I've left a little tail here, and I've left a little tail here. We have our elastic down here playing peekaboo. I'm just gonna take this, and I'm gonna join it down here, okay? When I do that, I'm going to fold the pretty end in first, and then the ugly end in second. I'm gonna pin it in place, and then I'm gonna sew it down. You end up with 2 ends that look like this, and they are joined very close together because that elastic I've taken from here to over here. And then this is the body of the whole thing. Now we just need to turn it. So I'm gonna take it from this, take my elastic and tuck all of those messy ends in like that. Do the same thing over here. So bring the ugly end in, bring the nice end in like that. And I kind of twist the whole thing so it's right side up, even though this fabric doesn't have a right side. And we're gonna try it on and see if it fits. Ooh, look at that. I gotta find a good place to put you, because you don't need to get sick watching this. I'm gonna spin around so you can see the back. This is the pretty edge. So this was already hemmed, and I say it over and over and over again. Use factory hems. Do less work and make it look like you did more work. Let me spin around and you can see the back. I don't know if you could see that. So to be fair, this one is a little bit big. The elastic is pretty stretchy. I could probably stand to take about 1 inch off of the length of this. My next one, I would use the same length of elastic, but maybe a 19-inch long piece rather than a 20. Because this is just a little too big, what I can do to fix that is I can fold it so that all the wrong sides are out, and then I can sew maybe a 1/4 inch higher than my original sew line. And if I do that on both ends, then I'm going to kind of shorten it by about 1/2 inch. Even that little amount would make a difference because it would stick on my hair a little bit better, but not squeeze my brain out of my nose. And that's a really, really easy modification to do with this that takes almost no time at all. However, because of the texture of this fabric, it fits and it doesn't really want to go anywhere. It's just resting on my hair rather than digging in. And I bet if I really wanted it to stick, I could throw a couple bobby pins in there. All right, how would you finish this up? Really, really easy. So here's where the elastic is joined in. What I would do is I would just put a couple of stitches right along here. Avoid the big bulky part because there's a lot of fabric under here. So avoid that and go up maybe 1/4 inch and just put some stitching right there. That way the messy ends don't like surprise anybody when they want to pop out, because sometimes they do. That's all you got to do. So again, this is what the inside of it looks like. Pop it out like that, and now I got myself a headband. And even with recording, it only took me about 20 minutes to do. That's it. They're really easy. I hope this helped. You should definitely try it. Start with a pillowcase first and use a pretty end so that you have less to do. I'm going to throw in a couple of examples of other fabrics that I have used to make these. I hope you enjoyed this quick, dirty tutorial. I probably left things out or made things confusing, like I sometimes do, but I'm going to pop up my dimensions up here so that you have an idea of what I'm working with at least. Start here, and if you have a smaller head than me, reduce the length a little bit. If you make yourself a headband, put it on Instagram and tag me in it. I want to see what you are making. I need to start doing this more often because I want to see what you guys do. So tag me on Instagram with your headbands. Pick the craziest fabric you can think of. Let's see what we can all come up with. I would like to give a special shout out to all my makers over on Ko-fi. You guys are my heart and my soul of this channel. Thank you so much. If you want to become a maker, it is $2 a month. You get early access to any of the found fabrics and sewing supplies that I find in my travels, as well as get your name on screen, which is super fun. If you don't want to do that, nothing here changes. Don't forget to give this a thumbs up, subscribe if you like it, thumbs down if you didn't like it. If you didn't like it, leave an angry comment below. And I'll see you guys next time. All right, bye.